Okay, so we will start the today's session with TM modes. With TM modes. So in the last session, we have discussed about the propagation of TM modes in rectangular waveguides. So we have derived the different components in x and y direction, right? So Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy. So what is the Ex equation? So here Ex equal to this one. So minus gamma by h square. So C m pi by a cos m pi by a into x sin n pi by b y. So e power j omega t minus gamma z. So the Ex equation Ey and Hx and Hy equations, right? So we have discussed all these four field components. About all four field components we have discussed in the last session. So Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy field components. So here, so depending on the values of m and n, so we have various modes in TM waves. So remember this Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy four equations, right? So here Hx is this one. So j omega epsilon by h square c n pi by b sin m pi by x cos n pi by b y e power j omega t minus gamma z. So here, so gamma z, it represents the wave is propagating along that direction. So e power j omega t, it represents the wave is a sinusoidal wave, right? So remember this Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy equations. So if you substitute m equal to 0 and n equal to 0, if you substitute m equal to 0 and n equal to 0 in the four field components. So see here in the Ex equation, if you substitute m equal to 0 and n equal to 0, what will happen? So then Ex becomes 0, right? So if you substitute in this equation m equal to 0 and n equal to 0, then you will get Ex equal to 0. Okay? So depending on the values of m and n, we have various modes in TM waves. So for example, here m equal to 0 and n equal to 0. So Tm suffix m comma n. So we have Tm suffix m comma n. So in the place of m, if you substitute 0 and in the place of n, if you substitute 0, then you will get Ex equal to 0. Then similarly, you will get Ey equal to 0, Hx equal to 0 and Hy equal to 0, right? So m equal to 0 and n equal to 0, substitute in Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy, all of them vanish. That means you will get Ex equal to 0, Ey equal to 0, Hx equal to 0 and Hy equal to 0. So then we can say that TM00 mode cannot exist. So TM00 mode cannot exist because all the field equations are vanished. Okay, so there is no TM00 mode. Okay, so next, if you substitute m equal to 0 and n equal to 1, here if you substitute m equal to 0 and n equal to 1, see here, similarly, and m equal to 1 and n equal to 0, right? See here, it is a TM01 mode and TM10 mode. So if you substitute these values in the four field components Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy, all four field components are vanished. So we will get Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy equal to 0 if you substitute this 0, 1 and 1, 0 values in place of m and n, right? So that's why there is no TM01 and TM10 modes also. If you substitute m equal to 0 and n equal to 0, we don't have any TM00 mode. Similarly, here we don't have TM01 mode and TM10 mode. Why? Because the four field components becomes 0, right? So next, if you substitute m equal to 1 and n equal to 1, that is TM11 mode. TM11 mode. If you substitute m equal to 1 and n equal to 1, all four field components exist. Okay, so Tm11 mode. So substitute m equal to 1 and n equal to 1. All 4 field components. So Ex exists, Ey exists, Hx exists, and Hy exists. So Tm11 mode exists. Okay, so that is the different modes. So we have Tm11, Tm12, Tm21. So similarly Tm22, right? We don't have Tm00, Tm01 and Tm10. So that is the different modes occurred in Tm. Next we will see cutoff frequency of a waveguide. So what is the cutoff frequency? See here, we know that. So from the last previous equations, so we know that h square equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon, that is equal to a square plus b square. So from this, so we can write a square plus b square. See here, substitute what is a and what is b. So we know that a equal to m pi by a whole square and b equal to n pi by b whole square. So from this equation, we can write gamma square equal to, this is m pi by a whole square plus n pi by b whole square, so minus omega square mu epsilon, right? So in place of a, we can write this m pi by a whole square. In place of b, we can write n pi by b whole square. So from this equation, we can write gamma square equal to, see here, it is a square plus b square minus omega square mu epsilon e, right? So a square plus b square minus omega square mu epsilon e. So from this, gamma equal to square root of m pi by a whole square plus n pi by b whole square minus omega square mu epsilon. So here we know that gamma equal to alpha plus j beta. So gamma equal to alpha plus j beta. So where alpha is the attenuation constant and beta is the phase constant. So alpha is the attenuation constant and beta is the phase constant, right? Okay. Here what is cutoff frequency? We will see what is cutoff frequency. The frequency at which gamma just becomes 0 is defined as the cutoff frequency Fc. So the frequency at which gamma becomes 0 is defined as the cutoff frequency Fc. So gamma equal to alpha plus j beta. So to propagate the wave, alpha must be 0. The attenuation constant must be 0. Then only the wave will propagate, right? So beta becomes, that is alpha becomes 0. So then gamma equal to, gamma becomes imaginary, right? So actually we know that gamma equal to alpha plus j beta. So if alpha is 0, that means attenuation constant is 0, then only the wave will propagate. So then gamma becomes imaginary. Okay? So the frequency at which the gamma becomes 0 is defined as the cutoff frequency. So we can write at f equal to fc, gamma equal to 0. And we know that omega equal to 2 pi f. See here, in this equation. So substitute gamma equal to 0. Okay. So m pi by a whole square plus n pi by b whole square minus omega square mu epsilon. So we are taking this equation. Substitute gamma equal to 0. So this becomes m pi by a whole square plus n pi by b whole square minus, so omega square mu epsilon. So at f equal to fc, then we can write omega c. So omega c square mu epsilon. So from this, omega c equal to, so 1 by square root of mu epsilon e, m pi by a whole square plus n pi by b whole square whole power 1 by 2, right? So that is omega c. So substitute here omega equal to 2 pi, omega c equal to 2 pi fc. Then Fc equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of mu epsilon. So m pi by a whole square plus n pi by b whole square whole power 1 by 2. So from this, so in place of 1 by square root of mu epsilon e, we can substitute c, right? So we know that c equal to 1 by square root of mu epsilon e. So in place of 1 by square root of mu epsilon e, substitute c. So then Fc equal to c by 2 pi, the same equation, m pi by a whole square plus n pi by b whole square whole power 1 by 2. Right? So cancel these pi terms, then you will get cutoff frequency of c equal to c by 2 into m by a whole square plus n by b whole square whole power 1 by 2. Okay? That is the cutoff frequency. So the cutoff frequency means, so at the cutoff frequency, the gamma becomes 0. So at which frequency gamma becomes 0, that frequency is called as cutoff frequency. So the cutoff frequency equal to c by 2 into m by a whole square plus n by b whole square whole power 1 by 2. That is the cutoff frequency. So here, all the wavelength greater than lambda c are attenuated and less than lambda c are allowed to propagate. Okay? So it is the cutoff wavelength, where lambda c is the cutoff wavelength. So we can find the cutoff wavelength from the cutoff frequency, right? So we can find the cutoff wavelength from the cutoff frequency. So when will the wave propagate? When will the wave attenuate? Right? The condition is, if the wavelength is greater than or equal to lambda c. If the wavelength is greater than or equal to lambda c, then the wave will attenuate. If the wavelength is less than or equal to lambda c, cutoff wavelength, then the wave will propagate. It is allowed to propagate, right? So to propagate the wave, the cutoff, that is the wavelength must be less than the cutoff wavelength. Then only the wave will propagate. If the wavelength is greater than lambda c, the wave will be attenuated. Okay? So then see what is guide wavelength. So what is guide wavelength? So it is defined as the distance travelled by the wave in order to go the phase shift of 2 pi radians. In order to go the phase shift of 2 pi radians, right? So then we can write the guided wavelength lambda g equal to 2 pi by beta. 2 pi by beta. So that is the guided wavelength. So how much distance is travelled? How much distance is travelled by the wave to get the phase shift of 2 pi radians? That is decided with the guide wavelength. So guide wavelength can be written as 2 pi by beta, right? So from this we can write, so and 1 by lambda g square equal to 1 by lambda naught square minus 1 by lambda c square. So it is the relation between guided wavelength, so cutoff wavelength, and this lambda naught. So 1 by lambda g square, right? 1 by lambda g square equal to 1 by lambda naught square minus 1 by lambda c square. So from this relation we can write lambda g guided wavelength equal to this one, lambda naught by square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole square. That is the guided wavelength. So guided wavelength lambda g equal to lambda naught by square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole square. That is the guided wavelength. whereas the cutoff frequency is so c by 2 into m by a whole square plus n by b whole square whole power 2. So these two are the important equations: cutoff wavelength, so cutoff frequency, cutoff wavelength, and the guided wavelength. So next we will see the definitions of phase velocity and group velocity. Here the phase velocity is defined as the rate at which the wave changes its phase in terms of the guide wavelength. So Vp equal to the phase velocity equal to omega by beta, and group velocity is, so it is defined as the rate at which the wave propagates through the waveguide. So it is given by Vg equal to so d omega by d beta. So these are the definitions of phase velocity and group velocity. So if we see the derivation of phase velocity and group velocity, so expression for phase velocity, see here. So from the definition we know that phase velocity equal to omega by beta, and we know this equation also, h square equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon. So that is equal to a square plus b square. So here a equal to m pi by a whole square and b equal to n pi by b whole square. Okay. So we know that gamma equal to alpha plus j beta. For the wave propagation, alpha must be 0. So then we will get gamma equal to j beta for the wave propagation. The attenuation must be 0. So then only the wave will propagate. So that's why we can write gamma equal to j beta. Gamma equal to j beta, right? So squaring on both sides, so gamma square equal to j beta whole square. So this we can write this one, this equation, m pi by whole square plus n pi by whole square minus, so this omega square mu epsilon. So at f equal to fc and omega equal to omega c, gamma equal to 0. So at cutoff frequency, from the cutoff frequency definition, so gamma equal to 0 at f equal to fc. So from this we can write, so at cutoff frequency, so that's why I have taken omega c square. So omega c square mu epsilon equal to this one, m pi by whole square plus n pi by b whole square. Okay. So in place of this m pi by a whole square and n pi by b whole square, we are substituting this omega c square mu epsilon, right? So from this equation, gamma square, so that is equal to j beta whole square, right? So gamma square equal to j beta whole square. That is beta square, right? See here. So in place of these two terms, you can substitute omega c square mu epsilon, and this term will come. So minus omega square mu epsilon. So we can write gamma square equal to beta square. So actually here we will get minus sign. So beta square equal to omega square minus omega c square mu epsilon, right? So if you rearrange this equation, then you will get beta square equal to omega square mu epsilon minus omega c square mu epsilon. Okay. So substitute this beta equation. So from this equation, take square root of omega epsilon as common, then you will get this one. So substitute this beta equation in the phase velocity. So phase velocity equal to omega by beta. Substitute the beta in the equation, in this equation, right? Then you will get phase velocity equal to this omega by, so in place of beta we can write square root of mu epsilon, square root of omega square minus omega c square, right? So from this you will get 1 by square root of mu epsilon into 1 by square root of 1 minus omega c by omega whole square. So take omega outside and cancel the omega terms. then the phase velocity will become, so c by square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So you see here, so here 2 pi will cancel, then we will get fc, omega c equal 2 pi fc and omega equal 2 pi f, right? So 2 pi will cancel and we will get fc by f whole square. So in place of 1 by square root of mu epsilon u, we can write c. So the phase velocity will become, so c by square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. That fc is the cutoff frequency. So and we know the standard formula is f equal to c by lambda naught and fc equal to c by lambda c, right? So we substitute this f and fc in this equation. Substitute this f and fc in the above equation. Then, so we will get fc by f equal to this one, lambda naught by lambda c. So in place of fc by f, so substitute lambda naught by lambda c. Then you will get, so phase velocity equal to c by square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole square. So that is the phase velocity equation, c by square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole square. Okay. So then what is the expression for group velocity? So from the definition, Vg equal to, so d omega by d beta, and we know that beta equal to square root of mu epsilon into omega square minus omega c square. So differentiating this beta with respect to omega, then you will get d beta by d omega equal to this one, square root of mu epsilon by square root of 1 minus omega c by omega whole square. So in place of omega c omega, we are substituting fc by f. Okay. So the group velocity equal to, so d omega by d beta equal to this one. So it is d beta by d omega, but d omega by d beta equal to square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square by square root of mu epsilon. Okay. Or we can write Vg equal to c into square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole square. So in place of fc by f, we can write lambda naught by lambda c. It is the group velocity equation. So phase velocity equation will be this one. So c by square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole square, but the group velocity is c into square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole square. Okay. So if you consider the product of phase velocity and group velocity, so here phase velocity into group velocity, so multiply these two, so Vp, that is phase velocity into group velocity equal to c square. That is the relation between phase velocity and group velocity. Okay. So it is the expression, so these are the expressions for phase velocity and group velocity. So if we see the relation between these three, lambda naught, lambda g and lambda c, we see the relation between lambda naught, lambda g and lambda c. So from the previous equations, you know that phase velocity equal lambda g into f, right? So substitute, one second. Okay. So if we substitute all these equations, then the relation between these three will be lambda g equal to lambda naught by square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole square. So that is the relation between lambda naught, lambda g and lambda c. Okay. So we will see what is the dominant mode and degenerate modes. So important definitions: dominant mode and degenerate modes. So you see here, the mode having the highest cutoff wavelength is known as dominant mode. So we are having different types of modes, right? So TM10, TM01, TM21, TM12, right? TM11, right? We don't have TM00, TM10 and TM10, TM01. But we are having TM11, TM12, TM21 and higher modes. So what is the dominant mode? What is the dominant mode? So the mode having the highest cutoff wavelength. The mode having the highest cutoff wavelength is known as dominant mode. The mode having the highest cutoff wavelength. So if cutoff wavelength is high, then what about the frequency, cutoff frequency? Cutoff frequency will be low. The mode having the highest cutoff wavelength is known as the dominant mode. So the minimum cutoff frequency for a rectangular waveguide is obtained for a dimension A is greater than B. A is greater than B. So for m equal to 1 and n equal to 0. So for TE modes, TE10 is the dominant mode in rectangular waveguide. So in TE mode, TE10 exists, TE01 exists, right? But in TM modes, TM10, TM01 and TM00 cannot exist. But in TE10, TE01 can exist. Okay? So TE10 mode has the lowest cutoff frequency or having the highest cutoff wavelength. So that mode is called the dominant mode in rectangular waveguide. So TE10 is the dominant mode in rectangular waveguide. Okay, so that is the dominant mode. What is degenerate modes? Degenerate modes. In this, the modes are having the same cutoff frequency. The modes are having the same cutoff frequency. Those modes are called as degenerate modes. If cutoff frequency is same for the different modes, those modes are called as degenerate modes. Right? If the cutoff frequency is low, that mode is called as dominant mode. So this is about dominant modes and degenerate modes. See here, if you see the problems. So here determine the cutoff wavelength for the dominant mode in a rectangular waveguide of breadth 10 centimeters for a 2.5 GHz signal propagated in the waveguide. Calculate the guide wavelength, phase velocity and group velocity. Calculate the guide wavelength, phase velocity and group velocity. See here, the given values are breadth is 10 centimeters. So on the frequency is 2.5 gigahertz. So we have to calculate lambda g, that is the guide wavelength, phase velocity Vp and the group velocity Vg. Okay, so the dominant mode is TE10. The dominant mode is TE10. So we know that the lambda g guided wavelength equal to lambda naught by square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole square. Here lambda naught equal to c by f. So substitute c value, it is constant, 3 into 10 power 10, right? So by 2.5 into, so substitute f equal to 2.5 into 10 power 9, then you will get 12 centimeters. So that is a lambda naught. And lambda c equal to, see here, so from this equation lambda c equal to 2a, that is constant. In the dominant mode lambda c equal to 2a. So here a equal to 10 centimeters. So from the given problem a equal to 10 centimeters. So a into b, breadth into width. So a equal to 10 centimeters. So lambda c becomes 20 centimeters, right? Lambda c becomes 20 centimeters. And lambda naught equal to 12 centimeters. If you substitute these two values in the lambda g equation, then lambda g equal to lambda naught by square root of 1 minus, it is 12 by 20 whole square. Then you will get lambda g equal to this one. Okay. So then phase velocity, how to calculate phase velocity? We know that phase velocity equal to c by square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole square. Then you will get, so phase velocity equal 3.75 into 10 power 10. And you can calculate the group velocity also, right? So from the standard formulas, we can calculate guided wavelength, that is lambda g, phase velocity and group velocity. Okay. So for the dominant mode, that is for TE10 mode, lambda c equal to 2a. So from this we can calculate lambda c, that is equal to 2a for the dominant mode TE10. So if TE10 means here m equal to 1 and n equal to 0, right? So in this equation, if you substitute m equal to 1 and n equal to 0, that is in the lambda c, mn equal to 2ab by square root of m square b square plus n square a square. If you substitute m equal to 1 and n equal to 0, then you will get lambda c equal to 2a for the dominant mode. So it is TE10 is the dominant mode. Okay. So here you can calculate which mode is propagating. So at this frequency, the given values are a equal to 4 centimeters and b equal to 3 centimeters, and the frequency is 5000 megahertz. Okay. So from this we can calculate lambda naught. So which wave will propagate? For example, if you take TE01, for this lambda c equal to 2b, right? So TE01 will not propagate. When the wave will propagate, the condition is lambda c is greater than lambda naught. Lambda c must be greater than lambda naught. Here lambda naught equal to 6 centimeters. So if lambda c is greater than lambda naught, then only the wave will propagate. For TE10, see here, for TE10, lambda c equal to 8 centimeters. So that's why here lambda c is greater than lambda naught. Right? So then TE10 will propagate, but TE01 will not propagate. Here a condition does not satisfy, right? So TE01 will not propagate and TE10 will propagate. So for TE10, lambda c in this example it is 8 centimeters and lambda naught equal to 6 centimeters. So this condition is satisfied, then TE10 is propagate. Okay. So this is about different modes and the cutoff frequency, group velocity, phase velocity and guided wavelength, right? So with this I am going to stop the presentation. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.